to the next video. In today's video I will show you how to run background operations inside your Flutter app for iOS. I have already made a video on this for Flutter Android, so this is for Flutter iOS. Now what do I mean by background operations is that suppose your app is not in the foreground, it is not even in the background, it is completely dismissed by the user, so the OS, so suppose if you have defined a background operation, now the OS will decide when to run your background operation. It can be within the next 1 hour, it can be within 2 hours, 3 hours, it could be whatever. So the OS depends on when to run your background operation. So if you want, suppose upload a file to a server or fetch some data from your server so that you can and insert it into core data or Swift data or SQLite database and make it available immediately to the user, you can use something like that. But again, background operations are triggered by the OS, we can't really control it. So firstly, now the bad part is like for doing background operation, everything has to be done via Swift or Objective-C. You can't really use Dart code for this. So what I have done is that I have created a Flutter project and then I have opened the iOS folder inside Xcode. So first what you will have to do is you will have to go to your info.plist and you will have to add this. So this should be whatever is your identifier for background task. So what I have done is that this is my bundle identifier dot background task. Okay, so whatever is your bundle identifier, you can add that. Or if you want to see it like this, open as property list. So if you are adding it like this, so you will have to add this. Okay, and this is my identifier, background task identifier. So bundle identifier dot background task, same identifier I will use it inside my code over here. Next you will have to go to your project, make sure your iOS deployment target is at least 13. I have kept it as 14. Next go to runner, go to sign in and capabilities, and here you will have to click on this plus capability, add this background mode, and here you will have to check this background fetch as well as background processing. Next you will have to go to app delegate, and here I have defined our task ID. Okay, and here I have defined BG task scheduler dot shared dot register with for task with identifier task ID, and I'm using BGAppRefreshTask. So if you see BGAppRefreshTask, it says that a background task that is used to update app contents in the background, and it is used for it is typically a short task. So if it is, so don't use API calls, but if you have any short task which happened immediately, then you can use this BGApp refresh task. There is something called BGProcessingTaskRequest as well, which can be used for longer running operation, which I will show you in a bit. So here we are just checking if there is any task. If yes, then don't do anything. If no, then we will handle this task. So we have a task, then we will handle it. So if you see handle task, so here you can write your own logic what you want to do inside your background processing. So all I have done over here is that I'm getting a count from a user default. So user defaults is just used to store key value pair. It is kind of like shared preferences, and I'm just printing it to the console how many times this count has run. And again, if your app is in the background, you won't see it in the console, but you can display it inside a text view as well if you want to. And here I'm just updating my count of inside the user defaults, and if you want, you can add an expiration handler as well. And once the task is completed, I'm making it as success equal to true. And to schedule the task, first I'm checking if there are any pending tasks or not. If there are no pending tasks, then only I'm I'm creating a new task. If there are pending tasks, don't create a new task. So I'm returning over here, and I have added a timing interval of 1 day. So 1 day equal to this many seconds. So now if you might feel like I will just keep it as 1 second, but that doesn't mean your background operation will run after every 1 second. Even if you keep it as 1 second, the OS will decide when to run it. so better to keep these numbers large. And here once the task is done, I'm submitting it. Now for unfortunately I don't have a real device with me. This won't work on a simulator, and if you want to test it, what you can do for development purpose is that you can add a breakpoint over here once you submit the task, and once you will see something like this LLDB inside your console over here, and you will have to run this command. But instead of task identifier, you will have to write this, or whatever is your task ID. So iOS will immediately fire your task, and you should be able to see your output. But this is only for development purpose. Now coming back to BG processing task. So to use BG processing task, you can use something like this. Now BG processing task is used for long running background operation. How long, I'm not sure, but here you can see that they have mentioned scheduler processing that asks your system to launch when conditions are favorable for battery life to handle deferrable long running processing operations such as syncing, database maintenance, or similar tasks. So to use BG processing task, you will have to use it over here, and you will have to also use it over here and use it over here. So I think okay, BG processing task has no member. Okay, let me just check this task, BG task scheduler, BG processing cannot call BG task, BG task. Okay, let me just check this and get back to you. What I was doing is that here you will have to use BG processing task request, but here you will have to use BG processing task, as well as over here BG processing task. Also, one more thing which I want to tell you guys is that while debugging, make sure you I'm not sure if this is required or not if you're trying to run your task immediately using this particular command, but try to comment this bit of code before running this command. If this command is not working for you, and if it's still not working, try uncommenting this. But for production use cases, you have to add this bit of code. So that's for sure. Yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.